But in case the opportunity does arise, would arise for you, let's say we have an auction like this, the one in green. So you open a diamond, pass, pass, and then there's a takeout double in the balancing seat. And now you redouble. What do we think's going on there? Partner's known to be weak, right? They couldn't even respond to one diamond.
Say something.
So presumably this should just show a really strong hand. Now, the reason I say it's not going to come up that much is because you might have a better bid than redouble. If you had a really good hand with, say, 5 diamonds and a 4-card major, couldn't you now bid a heart or bid a spade? You're just trying to find a place to play. You don't expect to go to game because partner couldn't respond to a diamond. But you might have a better place to play than diamonds, right? You might get to play a major suit card score here. So if that's your hand, if it's more of a 2-suited hand, you can just bid your second suit, and you could even do it at the 1 level. If you have the balanced 18 or 19, what do we do here? So you bid 1 no, right? Whenever there's an overcall or double at the 1 level and partner didn't respond to your suit opening, 1 no shows that hand. You don't want to jump to 2 no when partner is 0 to 5 points, right? But you might want to play 1 no if you have 19, if partner only has a king or a queen over there, or something like that, right? So, I mean, in theory, you know, a hand that would be good enough to redouble, you know, you might have a choice, well, do I redouble, do I bid a no trump? Well, I mean, if you've got scattered stuff in all the suits and a no trump, you know, and particularly if you're balanced, if you're 4-3-3, you know, something like that, 1 no is probably the best description of your hand. I don't know that redouble really accomplishes anything, other than saying, well, you know, wherever the opponents end up, they may not have a good place to play. But so that's fairly rare, but that is what would be, you know, if it were to come up, yeah, you're showing some kind of very strong hand. But my feeling is if it's a very strong 1 or 2 suited hand, you should probably either be bidding your second suit or bidding your first suit again, right? Even if you're jumping. You know. What if you have a 19 or 20 point hand that wasn't quite a 2 club opener with 6 solid or nearly solid diamonds? Maybe that would be better expressed by jumping to 3 diamonds. And yeah, I know partner already passed and doesn't have much, but this is the kind of hand that you know what you would want the trump suit to be, and you probably have 9 tricks in your hand or very close to it, right? So you probably have a better description. So that's what redouble would be if it were to come up by opener. I'm just not sure it accomplishes a whole lot because I'm pretty sure the opponents aren't going to let you play 1 diamond redoubled.
So then that passed hand in the overcall seat, in the direct seat, whose partner doubled, is that person?
Is this person forced to bid?
Yeah.
No, it's the same situation, right?
Same, yeah.
Right? They can express a preference because their partner made a takeout double diamonds, so they can bid their longest of the unbid suits.
Because they're just at the 1 level.
Or they can pass and say, no, I really have no preference on 4-3-3, something like that. You know, doubler, why don't you pick? So same kind of in that event, same thing that we looked at before. Now, what we really want to get to, and the key convention here, and Joanne will not sleep until we have discussed it, so we must get this done today, is this Jordan 2 no trump. If you ever see anything, most people, at least most people in U.S. cities where I've lived, have called it Jordan. It is sometimes called Truscott. If you see Truscott 2 no trump, it's the same thing. It's Jordan. So that might create some confusion if you see that in a text somewhere. But you know, sometimes we have the same conventions that are called different things in different regions of the country. So I don't know. Maybe in New York City they call it Truscott. But this is the one conventional bid that you have after partner opens at the 1 level, and there is a takeout double. And it's specifically for these auctions. And as shown here, it can be a minor or a major. We think of using it mostly for the majors, but I would check both boxes on your convention card and treat it the exact same way. It's less likely to come up with a minor, because when partner opens a minor, if you have a major, you still may respond to major, right? Just because they made a takeout double, like the hand we looked at earlier, you still may want to find a major fit. So, the kind of hand that you would see Jordan 2-no coming up for the minors would look a lot like a hand that would make an inverted raise, right? It's that kind of hand. It's a hand that's you probably have a singleton somewhere. You probably have a singleton in a major. You have more of a distributional hand, and you have lots of partners minor. At least 4, but normally 5 or more in practice. Because those are the hands that you want to play in your minor, right? A hand that would be unsuitable for no trump, doesn't have a major. And so that's where your Jordan comes in. Now, the main thing to keep in mind about the Jordan 2-no, and it's completely conventional, so it is alertable, and it's artificial, so you are not by any means showing a balanced hand. And then you go back to the hand that we looked at before where you had the balanced 11 count. If you have a balanced 11 or 12 count, you say, well, how do I show that hand? Well, the answer is you have to start with redouble. Those hands you have to start with redouble, and then your plan is you bid no trump later, if that's what you want to bid. Because your 2-no is no longer natural. When the opponents make a takeout double, 1-no is natural, 3-no is natural, 2-no is not natural. So 2-no is your Jordan, and it is specifically, and again, we can say this for majors and minors, but we're really honing in on the majors because that's where this convention comes up. You have 4-card or better support. So in that sense, if it helps you remember, your Jordan 2-no really looks a lot like your Jacoby 2-no, because your Jacoby 2-no is a 4-piece raise, right?
Right.
Promises 4-card support for partners major. What is different from Jordan about Jacoby, it is unlimited, but it may be only invitational.
Yes, I know it's always invitational for us, with or without the double. But
So these are the 2 criteria. And you can use your judgment. You could make a Jordan 2-no raise up. Look, if you have a 9 count that you really like and you want to treat it as a limit raise, and you're always prepared to be in at least 3 of your sides major, that's fine. You don't have to have 10 or 11 high card points. Normally you do, but again, it's a judgment call. You're allowed to evaluate your hand. If you think it's worth a limit raise, you can use your Jordan. So maybe a hand like this here on the left, right? So you have 11 high card points and you have 4 spades, right? So 1 spade double. This is a textbook hand to use your Jordan. So your bid with this hand would be 2-no. Now, what is different from Jordan, if we're comparing it with Jacoby, Jacoby, we've got all these responses, right? We've got shortness showing responses. Do we have a minimum? Do we have extras? Do we have a second suit? All that stuff is woven into the Jacoby 2-no, and remember, and that's only for when the opponents are not bidding, because Jacoby 2-no would not be on an interference, and we may have a slam, and so we want to show second suits and shortness and all these things that help us evaluate whether there's a slam in the picture. Okay, because the reason we do Jordan differently is once there's been a takeout double, hasn't the likelihood gone down quite a bit that we have a slam? We probably don't have a slam. So when you use your Jordan, it's almost always a matter of game or no game. And so there are no conventional responses. So it's actually easier than Jacoby, at least as far as remembering everything, right? If the opener retreats to 3 of the trump suit, all you're saying is, partner, if you only have the limit raise, I wouldn't be accepting it. I would not be accepting the game try. If you are accepting the game try, you would probably just jump there. Anything else that you do on an auction like this, you would have room to probe a little bit, right? So you might be right on the fence, right? You might be saying, well, we might have a game. Maybe I should tell partner something else about my hand to help with the evaluation process. So what if you were to do something like bid 3 diamonds? Now, you've already found a guaranteed 9-card spade fit, right? Just like all of our other auctions where we introduce second suits after we find a fit, we're not suggesting that we play in diamonds or anything like that. I think this is just sort of a, partner, here's where I live. What does this do for you?
So it's not a game try.
It is a game try.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah.
Not a help suit game try.
I wouldn't play it as help per se.
Okay.
I mean, you could. That could be your agreement. I think it would be easiest just to keep things natural-ish. So I would probably say, partner, I'm not sure if I should bid game or not. This is where I live. I got a couple cards in diamonds. Does that make your hand better? If you had king, queen of diamonds, and partner were looking at something like jack third, right? Well, if you said you had something in diamonds, jack third looks like a much better holding, right? So I think it would just be, but the main point is that, in Jacoby, that would be diamond shortness, right? That's the point we want to get across. That is not diamond shortness. And not that it couldn't be, I just don't know that it's going to be real useful. My feeling is, if you have a singleton somewhere, you're probably accepting partner's game try anyhow, right? Even with fairly minimal hands. Because you get to upgrade your hand. Now that singleton is probably really valuable. So, you're still forced at least to 3 of your major. So I just think that I would just keep things kind of natural here. But most of the time, you're either just going to see 3 of the major or 4 of the major. All right, well, what if you sign off?
Remember, this is
Invitational or better. So what if the Jordan bidder actually has this hand? You definitely want to be in 4 spades no matter what, right? With that hand. So at that stage, you would go ahead and raise to 4. Now, you might be looking at a hand like this and saying, well, would I have done something different the first time?
Could you have splundered with that hand on the right
The first time? You could have. You would actually have a choice, right? It could have gone 1 spade double. You could have bid 4 hearts with the hand on the right. Splendor and hearts, 4-card spade support. I would probably use Jordan. I don't think we have a slam, but splendors are usually reserved for hands that have 0 interest in slam. And I'm like, I do have some good controls. So I could try and find out a little bit more about where partner lives, because 6 spades isn't completely out of the question, even with the takeout double, if partner has the right opening hand, right? Especially if you start thinking about how's a hand like this going to play. Remember, good habit to be in is envision how the play would go.
while you're still having your option?
So for example, let's say this is your diamond holding, right? You have ace, queen, 4th. If partner doesn't have the king of diamonds, do you like your chance to pick up the king on a finesse? I do, because the takeout doubler's in front of your ace, queen of diamonds. Mm-hmm. So they are the favorite to have that card if partner doesn't have it. Of course, if partner has the king of diamonds and it fills out your diamond suit, great, even better, right?
So
We want you thinking about how the hand's going to play and say, okay, this is only 13 points, but it's a really good 13. So could you splinter with it? Yeah, I think I would rather bid Jordan knowing that I'm always going to bid a game. And then if partner just bids 3 spades saying I wouldn't accept an invitation, then you just bid game anyhow because you still want to be in 4 spades. But that certainly diffuses any thoughts of slam if you were having them, right? So. And then, you know, if we have a minor, you know, what would that look like?
Is that 4 cards?
And again, I think probably if you're going to use Jordan over partner's minor suit opening, you probably don't have a 4-card major. Because if you make a Jordan bid and support partner's minor, then you are probably giving up on any major fit, right? So what if you had a hand like this? Get rid of this option.
All right, so
10 points. 1 diamond by partner. Double. Well, what are your choices? You have 10. Could you redouble? Technically, yes. Is redouble a good description of your hand? No, you have a singleton spade, right? And you have only 1 honor in hearts. Your major suit holdings are pretty weak. I don't think you would be that interested in defending a major, right? This is more of an offensive hand than a defensive hand.
so what do you bid?
So if redouble's not really a good choice, well, how about a limit raise in diamonds? And so you could use 2 no.
Now, this is not going to lead to games as often when you have a big fit in the minor, right? I mean, you need partner to have a pretty good hand.
And maybe 3 no is still in the picture if partner has good stoppers in the majors. But most likely, we expect to find ourselves in the diamond part score
What
on a hand
about
like this.
2 diamonds, like an inverted minor?
So inverted is not on after a
not.
double.
Okay.
Now, I have seen some people do that, but what would 2 diamonds show, by the way? And let's go ahead and cycle through this, and then I do want to get you into your hands here pretty quick. But think about all the ways that we can raise. We'd like to be able to show all of our different hand types, right? So 1 diamond double, what is 2 diamonds? What is 3 diamonds? What is 2 no? 3 different bids, 3 different hand types, right? You've heard me say that before too, right? Let's not double up. Let's not have multiple bids that show the exact same hand type, right? Let's have different hand types for different bids and have these all be unique. So 2 diamonds is just a normal raise, right? So how about this hand? Take away one of your kings. Now you can just raise to 2 diamonds, right? You have 7 points in diamond support.
Let's change it some more.
How about now? So I bid 3 diamonds with that hand. That's weak, right? So remember that jump raises after a double, and in fact jump raises after any interference, overcall or double, should be weak. And then you have your 2 no. That's your limit raise or better, remember, because that Jordan is unlimited. And then you've got redouble still available to you for those hands that are limit raise or better without the big diamond fit, right? Can you see why inverted minors is completely unnecessary here? Any hand that you want to show, you can show. If you have a limit raise or better with partner's minor, use your Jordan. If we didn't play Jordan, then maybe we can make an argument that inverted minors would have some use, but it doesn't. There's no reason to play it here. And I think you want to be able to bid 2 diamonds and 3 diamonds when you have an appropriate hand. You know, this is a great, and I think even at unfavorable vulnerability, a hand like this is a great preemptive raise. It's a pretty safe preemptive raise because you have 5 card support and you have a singleton. And we figure there's a well, we know the opponents have a spade fit, right? Even if partner has 4 spades over here, aren't they guaranteed an 8-card spade fit? And they might have a 9 or 10-card spade fit. So this is a good hand to jam up the bidding and say, okay, if you want to find your spade fit, you're going to start at the 3 level. That's where your preemptive raises really have a lot of value. 2 diamonds, you have a little better hand. Does it have a lot of obstructive value? No, but it's a good description of your hand and will help with competition later when the opponents inevitably bid a major. And, you know, it's an intelligent bid that partner can work with. A partner can say, okay, you're over there with 6 to 9 points in diamonds, and all right, well, we're going to be battling for a part score here.
I could use a redouble there with 3 or 4 diamonds, because it's not really a fit with 4.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And listen, in an ideal world, your Jordan, you're probably going to have 5-card support for the minor. At a minimum, you would need 4. Like all of my other minor suit raises, I'd like to have 5, especially if partner opened a club, right? Since that might be a 3-card suit sometimes. And this was mentioned for any of you who went back and read any of the series I did for the district newsletter on inverted minors. Here we talk about that. I think it's simpler just to say, yeah, your inverted raises are 5-card support. I was kind of sitting on that fence actually, and the editor suggested, let's just say 5. It's gonna be simpler, and in practice you're almost always gonna have 5. So we hope that where you are getting now is, if you're comfortable with, and again, there are choices. I mean, look, there are hands that you can bid a suit or you could redouble, and either would be reasonable. And so, you want to make a judgment call. My feeling is, if partner opens a minor, and I have one or both 4-card majors, I almost never redouble. I just make my normal bid my heart or my spade or whatever. I just think it's too important to start getting your majors into the auction, and I mean, yeah, redouble doesn't eat up any space, but you could get into that situation where maybe the opponents start jamming up your auction if you start with redouble and you don't start talking about suits that you hold, especially major suits. This thing could come back around, and now you have a harder time describing your hand. So I would say I probably use redouble less often than a lot of people. On the other hand, there is some merit to starting with the redouble, because if it goes a club, double, a spade, that partner only knows I have 6 or more points, right? I had enough to respond. Whereas if it goes a club, double, redouble, now we've defined this as 10 or more. So it tells partner right away that you have a better hand. How important is that? Well, like I said, I think I see too many funny looking takeout doubles for me not to want to bid my majors. Because even if the takeout doubler has 4 cards in that major, I still may want to play it there. So,
But also, I might have, as a responder, a 3-piece limit raise and start with a redouble.
yes, and that's the key thing, and that is what you will have to deal with on whenever partner opens a major. If you know your invitational or better, the first thing you're looking at is, okay, do I have 3-card support or 4-card support? Because if you have 4-card support and you're playing Jordan, you want to use your Jordan. If you don't have 4-card support, you're probably starting with redouble, planning on bidding the suit later. And I think that would be a good segue into our hands, which might just feature